Hi everyone, this is Juliet here and I'm sitting on this piece of concrete and with this rope behind me that's an anchor rope. It's here to keep people secure. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little post with you. I was quite stirred up this morning and hi hi Lisa. I was quite stirred up this morning. It's very hard for any of us not to be stirred up because there's such a huge amount of things coming to light at the moment, and a huge amount of suppression of information at the same time. And I think we're all feeling profoundly unsafe, and if not unsafe, then quite stressed by things. And it's hard to kind of manage our nervous systems when all this stuff is going on and we are not allowed to connect with our loved ones. We're not allowed to do the things that usually soothe us. Thank you, Jane. So yeah, managing our nervous systems and soothing ourselves is really, really important right now because we're being forever challenged, and human beings need each other. We need to stay connected with each other. And the last couple of days I've really needed to go out and just to be in nature, and I've just found this amazing place. Let me just show you. Yay, look at this. Look at this incredible place that I found. So this is Ringstead Bay, and I've never been here before. It's quite magical. And there's some really big ships just anchored out here. So this tells me that this is a really safe harbour and that ships are just anchoring here. It's kind of a bit secure from the storm. And this is what we need right now. We need to stay calm and we need to anchor ourselves because there's a huge storm. There's a huge storm raging right at this moment in time, and we may be aware of it or we may not be aware of it, but we are being really firmly locked down and really firmly censored, so it's very, very hard to share information. And when we do share information, then our friends, our loved ones, can have huge reactions to that information, because from their perspective and from the place where they are in the anxiety and the fear that they're in, that information can be massively triggering. So I was thinking about this a lot yesterday as I was doing some client work, and I work a lot with people who come from families that might have seemed all right on the surface, but there's a lot of trauma in that family, or hi Dina, or there's stuff that's just being kept under the wraps. That's the thing for all of us, is that we have been in a situation for centuries where everything is under the wraps, and we're given a particular set of beliefs and behaviours and so on that we think are the right beliefs and the right behaviours, but they're not. And we can grow up in a family and we think that everything is just as the family is telling us it is, but it's not, and we're not allowed to express any feelings around what's happening. We're not allowed to speak out about it, and we might just think, oh well, that's the same for every family. But if we've had Daryl, hi. So if we've had abuse in the family, then it becomes even more scary that you daren't speak out or you daren't share your truth because you'll be censored in some way or you'll be attacked in some way. And as it is on one level, the microcosm, it's also like that on the macrocosm. And what's happening in our families are also happening in our culture. That's our collective trauma patterns, our collective trauma. And it's a big thing to come out of a family where there's abuse. It's a really, really big thing. And just going to flip back to me for a minute. Yeah, it's really difficult and challenging if you've grown up in a family where there's neglect, where there's abuse, where you're not allowed to speak up, where you're isolated, you're not allowed to share your experience. And how to get any kind of leverage on that situation is really, really hard. And so at the moment, I think many of us are really being triggered. Our own trauma patterns are really being triggered by the collective trauma pattern that's trying to unravel, the collective trauma pattern that's come into light. So we are being massively locked down and censored. We're told that the things that we're speaking of are not real, that they're conspiracy theories or something else. And despite the amount of medical evidence, despite doctors, scientists, lawyers, thousands, literally thousands of people speaking, we're told that this isn't true and we mustn't believe it. And if we do believe it, or if we do speak it, we'll be punished. So that's the situation that many of us are in. So how do we handle that? What do we do about it? Because it's really threatening and scary to lose our connections with our loved ones. And it's difficult enough anyway, isn't it, when you don't see your loved ones, when you can't go and visit. I haven't seen my mother for a year. I haven't seen my grandchildren for months. I haven't seen my children for months. I haven't seen some of my best and closest friends for close on a year. And my experience is not unique. I think it's the same for all of us, that we're in this place of isolation and fear and anxiety. And this fear, in a way, this is a very bad thing, because this fear, I was posting the other night on my Facebook page about not giving in to the fear porn, that we have to come through this, that there is actually a way out of this. And I think the worst is actually past, even though it feels like on one level it's really hard right now because everything seems to be intensifying. But I think the worst is passing, but it's intensifying. It's a bit like a healing crisis, that everything's coming up to the surface. There's a massive amount of information that's really shocking that's coming to the surface, and we haven't even begun to see it at this point in time. So we have to do the best we can to really support ourselves and to support each other. So one big resource for me is, because I do get anxious when I can't connect with my family, is like I like to come out into nature. And today I really felt like I had to come somewhere. I was like, where to go, and discovered this place. Let's show you again. So I was absolutely delighted when I arrived here. This beautiful, beautiful little bay. It's so calm. Unfortunately, the clouds have just come over the sun. So I just want to share this with you, this beautiful, peaceful bay, and to say that whatever happens, I will never give up. Standing and supporting people and speaking for truth, searching for truth. And that if you get triggered by anything I say, then just take that as something that, maybe we can work with, because we're all getting triggered right now. It's like, what part of my own personal trauma pattern is being touched by these words? Is it because it's stirring something too dangerous, that it's too painful to look at, or too threatening to have our realities challenged in any way? Because the truth will set us free. that when we can do this deep work, which we're all being required to do at the moment, then we get to a place of healing that trauma, and we can sorry, I'm getting my grammar all mixed up. We can begin to feel much freer when that deception is revealed. Hi Julie, when that deception is revealed and we can really understand where we've been gagged, where we've been shut down within our own lives, our own families, and how the collective is actually expressing the same thing at the moment. So it's like, what do we need to clear in ourselves right now? But not to really go at it in a way that's really going to destabilize us. How can we stay anchored? How can we stay calm? How can we notice when we're getting activated, when we're getting angry, when we're blaming someone else, when we're attacking someone else, or when we're going into lockdown, shutdown, emotional disconnect? Can we notice those things? And then when we notice them, then what can we do to resource ourselves, to just anchor like these big ships out on the sea here? Put our anchors down, find a safe harbour somewhere, give ourselves time to process what's coming up, give ourselves time and space to connect in deeply to ourselves and do the work that we need to do in order to bring forth a new earth and a new humanity. Because we are really at exciting times now, and we are in the brink of this new humanity, this new consciousness that's evolving. And this consciousness requires each one of us to do our own piece of work. There's no one going to rescue us. There's no shining knight on a white charger riding out to rescue us. But we have, each one of us is divine. We have this incredible capacity for healing and growth. And we have within ourselves, within our nervous systems and our immune system, millions and millions of years of wisdom and the capacity to heal. Our bodies, our nervous systems have been through millions of experiences over lifetimes and has learnt all the ways to heal that there are, and we're learning even more at this point in time. So just trusting that the truth will set us free, even though it's challenging, but doing it, accessing the truth in a really slow, integrated way, little by little, where we're resourced along the way. So we don't just like throw everything out and get highly reactive and attack somebody or attack ourselves. I'm working with both my own personal trauma patterns that are being triggered. I particularly have a lot of pain around attachment damage, attunement damage. So being separated from my family and having conflict in my family is massively painful for me. But I'm also working with people in the role of being a therapist, working with other people who are similarly being affected and even losing their loved ones to suicide right now, or losing their loved ones in other ways. So we all have to help each other in whatever way we can, reach out. And the most important thing is that we mustn't start attacking each other, because the forces of darkness that do exist on this planet and are behind a lot of things that are happening at this moment, they want us to fight. They want us to attack each other. So we have to be really clear that even if someone is saying something which we don't agree with, it's not our version of reality, that they're entitled to have their own opinion. They're entitled to express themselves. That's their God-given right to express themselves in any way that they want to, and not to attack them, and to speak our own truth. So This is a fundamental human freedom that we have to live, to breathe, to express our opinions, our thoughts, that each one of us is unique. We're all created uniquely different, and we're not all going to be thinking and saying the same things. So we need to just give everybody the space to be who they are and accept who they are. And that anyone who's trying to shut down or censor other people for expressing themselves, we can be very suspicious of that is a force of darkness that's blocking the light. So let's just spend a few moments here and just make some prayers. Let's make some prayers together. So just spending a moment and listening to the waves coming into your body wherever you are, just settling into your body and just feeling yourself here in this safe harbour, imagining that you've put your anchor down, you've put your roots down, and taking a breath and a long out breath, and just allowing your nervous systems to settle. And to know that you're immensely powerful. You are part of a line of humanity that's existed for thousands upon thousands of years. That everything that you need to know about is there as wisdom in your body. And you have the capacity not only to heal, but to raise your consciousness to a vibration of peace and love, truth, and unity and acceptance. So let's just feel our connections with each other in this moment. We are part of a web of life. We are a valuable part of the web of life. Each strand of this web is very powerful and very important. So just feeling our connections with each other here in this moment. We're all connected. So just praying in this moment to the divine source of all things, asking for guidance for us all, asking for support, the strength, the patience, and the grace to take us through these profoundly difficult but exciting times, to keep us well, to keep us in our hearts, to support us, maintaining that connection. To guide us, to protect us, to know that we are divine beings. We are a part of the divine, just as a drop of water is a part of this ocean in front of us. Giving thanks and gratitude for all that is and all that ever has been. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. shanty. So sending you loads of love, my dear, dear friends, and wishing you well, wishing you peace and happiness in your day. And we will get through this together. Reach out, be kind to each other. I'm going for a walk on the beach now. So do enjoy your day. Lots of love. Bye for now. Lots of love to you, Julie.